Schrock Innovations presents the Midwest #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, Des Moines, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
You think after doing this for like darn near 30 years, I would remember to pull the microphone in front of me before I start talking.
I've done that too.
All righty, folks. Welcome into Compute This. Better late than never, right? My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, and I appreciate y'all. Last week, we had a great show on all the cool things that AI is bringing to your life right now. The things that you're going to be able to do starting this month. Because we always hear about AI and we hear about these big future predictions and Skynet and everything else. And, you know, there's actually some good things that are going to come along because you got to have a little sugar to take the medicine, right? So today we're going to tell you about the Skynet. That's right. No, actually, guys, I take a week off and the entire world just blows up. Like, I come back and let me give you the rundown of what we've got on the schedule for the show today because this is nuts. I leave, and I'm like, I can do a pre-recorded show on AI. Everything's going to be fine. Everything is awesome. We go to the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. I kind of sort of tune out a little bit from the news and everything. And then on that wonderful 13-hour drive back to Nebraska, I am listening to news and, kind of catching up on things. And sure enough, you've got the United States government banning Kaspersky antivirus now. So if you run Kaspersky antivirus on your computer, which it's a Russian-made antivirus product, and for years we have said on this program, if you're going to buy a consumer-based antivirus program, Kaspersky is one of the top 2 you could buy. Like it is good. It's up there. Well, now you can't run it, and if you are running it, you won't get updates for it anymore. And if you are running it, you will no longer be able to renew it. And if you have purchased it, we have some things you're going to want to do to make sure you protect your financial investment to get your money back because you're going to lose service in September on your Kaspersky software. So we're going to talk about what's going on there and why that's happening. Then all of a sudden, PC manufacturer Deepcool, a Beijing company, is also banned in the United States. We're going to get into the details on what happened there. But if you think, I don't have anything with Deepcool, if you have a holiday special from last year that had the AI or gaming options installed, you have a Deepcool power supply because they literally make the best liquid and air coolers on the market. And their power supplies are absolutely amazing. So, yeah, we don't get to buy those anymore. We're going to talk about that coming up on the program. Car dealerships are taking a quick trip back to 1982 due to a cyber attack. If you try to go buy a car right now, many dealerships across the country are simply closed. They just shut their doors and said, we can't work right now because our systems are down. Dealerships, I checked in with my buddies over at Baxter here in Omaha, and they said, oh, yeah, we're still selling cars. We're still doing it, but it's all manual paper again. There is no digital. Somebody's got to run the contract to the bank. Somebody's got to bring it back. There's no sit down and sign and drive. That's gone. They can't even trade cars between dealerships or move money to pay off a car. So like if you trade in a car that you still owe money on, they can't pay off the loan with the bank online. Somebody has to cut a check and they have to drive it to the bank and give them the check. It's absolutely insane. So that's going on in the world right now. Schrock Business is just chugging right along doing its thing. That's pretty amazing. And then the piece de resistance. We're talking to you about all the things that AI can do for you right now, today, in June of 2024. And then I come across a story that the Secretary of the Air Force decided to put on his 2XL flight suit, sit in the front seat of an F-16 fighter, put his arms up like he's in Ford Blue Cruise mode, and go have a dogfight with another F-16. Training dogfight, not a real dogfight. I mean, you're not really shooting people down, but this is not Independence Day. You got to put the president in an airplane, fly him up there. That's not how it works. But no, could you imagine Joe Biden in an F-16? Joe Biden could fly this F-16, honestly, because it's being flown completely by AI. And we're going to dive into that a little bit. The U.S. government wants 1,000 of these planes by this time next year. 1,000 AI-flown, no pilot F-16s. And that's something that you can do we can do right now, today, with AI. So, guys, I'm just saying, I take a week off and then there is so much to talk about, it's not even funny. But I am also live and back in the studio. So 402-558-1110 is the number to join us on the program. 888-250-2091 is the number outside the Omaha metro area. Give us a call, ask a question, make a comment, be a part of the program on the air in some way. We'll put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. We'll collect your phone number when you call. It's not because I'm going to stalk you or anything. It's because if you win, we want to call you and then find out how we can get you the money. So it's $25 Schrock gift certificate up for grabs. All you have to do is call and be a part of the program, 402-558-1110 or 888-250-2091. If you missed the show last week, it is up and available at SchrockInnovations.com. Just click on radio show. There is no video and there was no after Schrock last week. So if you're looking for those things last week, they weren't there because I wasn't here. Now I'm back and there will be here today. So if you want to pick up the audio from the AI show last week, where we did a deep dive into what you should buy for a computer if you're going to do AI work. What are the system requirements? Should you buy one of these new Copilot PCs equipped with a Snapdragon processor? The answer is no. Better options are coming in just a few months that are going to make that thing look like a piece of trash. So there's a lot going on in the world, guys, and we are here to make it make sense to you, get you the information you need, maybe have a few chuckles when Thor can't pull the microphone in front of his mouth to talk, and then we go on with our day. All right, guys, so I talked about this Kaspersky ban. This is probably the headline story of the show. So Kaspersky is a Russian-based antivirus company. Why is it that all the hackers and the antivirus people and why is all this technology always coming out of Russia? You ever wonder that? Like, why are their hackers so good that everyone in the U.S. is afraid of the Russian hackers? Why? Well, because we have been banning things from Russia since the Cold War. So when we had Commodore 64s and Commodore VIC-20s over here in our households, they didn't have anything like that. They literally had to build it from scratch. So you have an entire generation of basically little Steve Jobs that are soldering circuit boards in their garage from kits to make bootleg computers. And they don't come with keyboards, so they're fashioning their own keyboards out of wood. And just doing crazy stuff. And it built a culture of self-sufficiency in technology. And that culture went, the kids learned it and then their kids learned it. And as a result, you have a very technologically adept population in Russia. So in some ways, more so than in America, honestly. We know how to use technology here, but if you ask most people how to not just fix their technology, but to actually build it from scratch, like here's a pile of resistors, a circuit board, and some BIOS chips. Let's go to work. People wouldn't know the first thing to do. I wouldn't know the first thing to do, guys. I mean, we just don't have that skill set in the wider population anymore. So Russia, it's no surprise, would have then, if you have the best hackers, you're going to have somebody who comes along to make the best antivirus company to defend against these hackers. Kaspersky was still an old school definition-based antivirus program. Not a lot of AI going on. It was a consumer grade antivirus. This is what you're going to run on your home computer. You wouldn't want to run Kaspersky on a business computer, but here's the trick. Kaspersky had themselves a beautiful program called a white box program. The white box program allows you to take Kaspersky's award-winning antivirus software and wrap your own brand around it. So, for example, if I wanted to say, buy the new Schrock Innovations antivirus, we could do that, and then we're basically selling Kaspersky under the hood. But you would never know that because every interface that you see is branded with Schrock. But it's Kaspersky under the hood. So now imagine if you're a defense contractor, a smaller one maybe. If you're somebody who provides services to the federal government and you're a contractor, you may choose to protect your internal business networks with Kaspersky software, but you don't know you're actually using Kaspersky because you've hired, Bob's IT company to come do your security, and he said Bob's IT is the best. And so this Bob's IT security software is what you need, and sold it to you, and now you're running Kaspersky on all your computers, but you don't know it. And that's exposing potentially information that would be valuable to potential Russian hacking or Russian interference, Russian, basically just espionage, right? And so the U.S. government has come out and said now Kaspersky is officially banned. It's a 90-day notice, so basically it goes into effect September 23rd, 24th, something like that. So yeah, it's going to be banned. And what does the ban mean? The ban, number one, means if you're running Kaspersky antivirus right now, you will no longer get updates for your antivirus. I mentioned that Kaspersky is a definition-based antivirus program. So September 24th, the sun will come up and your Kaspersky will still load on your computer. It's not like the government can take it off your computer. But it will be forever frozen in time in the state that it's in September of 24. Now, you might be able to get around this with a VPN. You might be able to do some things to mitigate this, to basically circumvent the ban, the United States government ban on buying things from Russia. You technologically you can do that, but it makes you a criminal. Remember when like these guys are busted for, trading NVIDIA chips to North Korea, or something like that. That's you if you're using Kaspersky software now, because the government has said that that's what will happen if you use Kaspersky software. That's the only thing that changed. Number two, you will no longer be able to purchase renewals for your Kaspersky. So even if you continue to use a VPN or something to bootleg your way around this, you're not going to be able to renew the software because your credit card transaction won't process to Kaspersky's company because the government will stop it. Number three, you can't obviously buy new subscriptions. So don't run out today and try to buy yourself a subscription to Kaspersky because I better get it before the ban hits, because you won't be able to. It's like, why would you want to do that? Because it's going to be banned. So this raises a bigger question. I know that there are a lot of you listening right now that actually run Kaspersky software. I know you're running Kaspersky because you come into our service centers for maintenance checkups and we see Kaspersky on there and we say, it's not bad antivirus. If you were going to run anything that was consumer grade, this is probably one of the best ones, but it's not business grade, guys. It has no AI backing on the cloud behind it. It's definition-based antivirus. It's old school, like Norton 360 kind of antivirus. Sophos is more expensive. So a lot of people say, well, Thor, Sophos is $160 for the first year. It's only $80 to renew it, but I can get Kaspersky and I can run 5 computers for $80 a year. So it saves me a lot of money to run Kaspersky on 5 computers. And you've told me that it's not bad. So, I'm making a value judgment, right? I'm looking for a value here. I'm saying I'll take a little bit less security and send some money to Russia, but I won't have to spend as much money like I would have to spend on Sophos. So that's a legit thing. We have customers that do that. We have a lot of customers that do that. So I know the people hearing my voice right now, a lot of you are not going to have antivirus software in September, and you're going to have to make some decision on what you're going to do to protect your computer. So what we're going to do is we are going to put our Sophos on special for $80. It's literally half off. And it's not just for people who have Kaspersky. How would we check that? Thor, I've got Kaspersky. The Russian stuff. Yeah, I've got that. I want to get rid of that. I already uninstalled it. Can I get the Sophos? Come on, that's stupid. So anybody who wants to jump into Sophos, if you want to take this as an opportunity to save 50% off of the normal cost of installing a new Sophos installation on your computer, whether it's a Mac or a PC, this is the time to do it. All the service centers know how to invoice it. We can do it right over the Schrock desk. You don't have to come in if you don't want to, but we can get you taken care of and get you up to speed. So that's probably the biggest story of the day, guys. One other quick recommendation, big brain thought here. Perhaps you recently renewed your Kaspersky, maybe within the last 90 days. You should probably charge back your credit card because you're not going to get the service that you paid for because it's banned. So you should get your money back while you still can. After 90 days, you can no longer do a chargeback. And I hate chargebacks because they cost businesses lots of money. When people get a Sophos renewal from us, and then they're like, I didn't know what that was, so they charge it back. And then we call them and say, did you really want to get rid of your security software? And they're like, no, I didn't want to. Well, it doesn't matter even if you call your credit card company and say, don't charge it back. The chargeback's already been filed. We already got hit with a $30 fee. So it's expensive for businesses, on an $80 subscription to get hit with a $30 fee is pretty expensive. So basically, if you want to contact Kaspersky first, you could contact them and ask them to refund your money. But if they won't refund, then the next thing to do would be to just charge back your card and get your money back in the bank. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. We got to take our first break of the show. When we come back, Don and Carolyn, your calls are coming up next on Compute This.
Remember the good old days when virus detection worked like Where's Waldo? Spot the virus in the striped shirt and you win. Today's infections are changing hourly to avoid detection and use social engineering to trick you into making mistakes. Using yesterday's security to defend against today's threats is like using leeches to stop an infection. It just doesn't work. We recommend Sophos Intercept X antivirus backed by Schrock's virus-free guarantee. Sophos uses the power of AI to detect the patterns of a virus attack and responds with Schrock's custom actions that stop it fast. With Sophos on your PC, Mac, Android, or iOS device, you get the state-of-the-art protection you need to defend against the most advanced attacks out there. In fact, if your device gets a virus while running Sophos antivirus, Schrock will remove it for free, guaranteed. It hasn't happened yet, and we intend to keep it that way. Ditch your dad's antivirus and keep your device, data, and identities safe with Sophos and Schrock Innovations.
If you can dream it, Schrock Interactive's website developers can make it happen. Refresh your website, automate sales and marketing, and grow your business today with Schrock Interactive.
You know your computer needs modern antivirus, and you know using a VPN helps protect your identity online. But did you know that all of that protection could be useless if you're running outdated programs? We all run common free software like Adobe Reader, Dropbox, Firefox, and Chrome. Every day, there are critical security updates for these common programs that don't get automatically installed for up to 2 weeks. That's an eternity in today's world. That's why Schrock created Secure Updater. Secure Updater checks for and installs these critical updates every 8 hours, boosting your antivirus by closing off attack vectors before they can be used to penetrate your computer. Go to secureupdater.com and try it for free. We are so confident in our product, we don't even ask for a credit card to start the trial. Go to secureupdater.com today and start your 14-day trial and enjoy having the peace of mind that your software is being updated quickly and safely. You will be shocked at the number of programs that are out of date on your PC right now. Get your 14-day free trial at secureupdater.com.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. 402-558-1110 is the number to join us on the program this morning. Or if you're outside the metro area, 888-250-2091. We are live on Facebook as well at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. If you'd like to watch your radio, it's a whole lot more entertaining than staring at the little buttons and dials. Unless you're driving, then you should probably just watch the road. In fact, Keith is on Facebook with us this morning, and he says guilty. And I have no idea what he's talking about, but he's guilty. Like, who's guilty, Keith? What did I do? All right, let's jump into those phones real quick. Don, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Well, my problem is I called 2 weeks ago, and my email isn't working, and I've got quite a few contacts on it, and I didn't want to change to a new email.
Okay.
At that time, you suggested using the desk, which I did, got online with one of your techs, and he tried several ways to get it working, but we didn't get the problem changed, and I was charged for it. But like I say, my question is, should I just go to a new email? I hate to do that since I have to change all the contracts, or is there anything we can still your company do for me?
Well, golly, it's it's never a fun situation. The thing with the Schrock Desk is it's an hourly charge for help, and so when you walk away from a situation with an unsolved problem, and you don't want to throw more hours at it when all the basic things haven't worked. Who is your current provider for email that you're using?
Right now,
the one that doesn't work.
I think it's I really don't know. I shouldn't say that.
Well, your email address has an @something.com on the end of it. What is that?
Well, my one's it says just I got that my name and the last name and then a .com on it.
Oh, so you had your own domain. So
yeah, right.
Okay, so it's like with my schrockmail.com address. It's like it's not Gmail or something. Okay, so basically, depending on where you're hosting your this. Yes, there is something we can still do for you, but the reason that I think my consumer guys are having problems with this is because this is another notch above what a normal, like an IT tech person would do. So, for example, if you were setting up your own .com address, most of the time the people who do that are businesses. And so,
Yeah, I am a business.
Okay,
So,
gotcha. So then what we probably should do is we should get you in touch with Jeff over at Schrock Business instead, because he and Alfonso is our IT guru for all things web. He handles all of our websites. He can go find out where your website is hosted, if the email is configured properly, what the server settings are. He can go through all of that and do that for you. So that would probably be a better choice. And I apologize, I didn't realize when I talked with you a couple weeks ago that this was a situation with a business, not like a Gmail or a Yahoo or an AOL or something like that. It was a different kind of situation.
but that's kind of my fault too. I didn't probably say it to you.
No, that's all right. That's all right. So basically, here's the catch, though. Schrock Business typically doesn't do hourly work. Schrock Business is a subscription client service. So in other words, you pay like $450 a year, and you get your computer signed up. You can cover one computer. You can cover all your computers. And then once you're in, if you have an issue like this, like just like you paid $140 for the Schrock desk, we would charge you an incident fee, but the incident fee is flat rate. So in other words, it's $150, and if we have to work on it 13 hours to fix it, well, then we're just losing our shirts on the deal. So we better get it fixed quick, because you don't pay more for us working more. And that's one of the ways that Schrock Business actually we're pulling clients away from all the other MSP firms in town, because nobody does this. Nobody says, "Oh, okay, you don't want to cover all the computers in your business. You just want a computer or to cover 3 of the computers." We'll do that. Everybody else says we won't do that. We had a deal. We believe it or not, we were the last 2 people. There was one other company and us in consideration to manage all of the Casey's gas stations IT systems in Nebraska and Iowa. And we lost the bid because we didn't have a toll-free 24-hour support number, which we learned our lesson and we got very quickly. Because we asked after we lost the bid, what was the reason you went with this other company? Well, then sure enough, Jeff is at a networking event last week, and he's talking to some executives from Casey's that were there as well. And they're just like, yeah, it's awful. We hate the company we're with. And Jeff's like, yeah, I was at one of your gas stations and I couldn't pump gas. And I went in to talk to the clerk just because I thought there was something wrong with the pump. And he said, no, our systems are down. I'm losing $40,000 an hour. And it's like, this is, oh my gosh. And he goes, well, is this, I know who does your IT. Are they on the way? And he's like, heck if I know. I tried to call them, but, nobody answered. And it's, and so Jeff is thinking, hey, maybe we can get another bite at the apple here, because, Jeff's a go-getter like that. He's a 1%er like that. He'll go after it. And so he's talking to these guys, and they're like, unfortunately, we signed a 5-year agreement with this company. And you're like, you did what? We don't even have an option for that in our contract. Like, we would never even think about trying to lock a customer in for 5 years so we could provide them with terrible service that costs them $40,000 an hour. And then just say, well, you can't leave for another 4 years. We told them you could hire us and you'll pay a little bit more, because, we don't charge nearly what they charge, but you'll pay a little bit more. And then you'll actually, you won't lose $40,000 an hour though. And then you can just, pay them for doing nothing, because like I said, he doesn't quit. And so I think that's going to be a better move for you, Don. I've got your phone number here as well. I'm going to forward that on to Jeff for you so that he can reach out to you and just kind of get a hold of you and see about maybe getting you into the Schrock Business fold, because I think that's where you need to be.
Okay. Well, yeah, that was partially my fault saying it wasn't a business show.
No, that's okay, Don. Well,
okay.
I don't blame you a bit. Most places get
like
charged
I say,
more,
I still love your program. So.
Well, thank you, Don. I appreciate it.
Have a good day.
You too. Most places, if you call in and say I'm a business, instantly you get changed to a different rate card, and you get charged, double, triple. Oh, you're a business? Oh, you're a chiropractic office and you need a server? Never mind that you only have 3 computers in your whole office that this server will be serving. I think you need a $10,000 Dell server. No, you don't. And let us show you that you can do it for $1,500 and save a boatload of money. So again, I realize this is a consumer show. This isn't a business show. But just like Don there, we've got business owners listening that happen to also be consumers, because we all consume things, right? So if you're a business owner and you're listening right now and what I just said sounds appealing to you, because it's very appealing to everybody who actually looks into it. I sound like one of those MetaShare commercials. If you could save money and get something that's better, wouldn't you want to look into that? Sorry, I hear that commercial so often I have it memorized. It's ridiculous. At least it's not Cars for Kids. You remember that one. All right, 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. We're going to take a quick break here. Carolyn, stay on the line. Kim, your calls are coming up next on Compute This.
There are enough unused computers in storage to give every man, woman, and child in the U.S. an old, outdated, and useless computer system. Obsolete tablets and smartphones are nearly as bad. Most people know not to throw them into the landfill where they leak and contaminate, but it's hard to find a place to safely recycle electronics. That's why Schrock Innovations offers free recycling for computers, laptops, phones, tablets, cords, and accessories. In fact, only monitors and printers have a small recycling fee. Everything else is free. More importantly, Schrock will securely delete any data from your devices and hard drives before they are sent to a certified recycling partner who will then repeat the wiping process just to be safe. When you recycle your old technology at Schrock, you know your identity and privacy are protected and your equipment is being actually recycled by a certified recycling partner. Schrock is proud to recycle more e-waste than we produce annually, making a positive difference to our economy and ecology. Do your part by dropping your old gear at any Schrock service center and be part of the area's largest and most popular technology recycling program with Schrock Innovations.
Drive Advisor is a free program from Schrock Innovations that monitors your hard drive's health and tells you if it's going bad. Download it for free at driveadvisor.com.
You would probably rather drink the water at Camp Lejeune than get another call about the desperate need to renew your car's expiring warranty. Who actually responds to those calls? Everyone wants to play the warranty game where you pay money now just in case you need service later that everyone hopes you won't need or use. It's such a waste. It's no different with computers. Major manufacturers' warranties have more subscript crosses than a Sunday morning church service. Batteries are exempt, hard drives must be completely dead, and forget about anything that they can remotely claim as physical damage. That's why Schrock warranties are different. When you purchase a modular PC or a solid-state laptop and extend your warranty, we offer a no-risk money-back guarantee. If you need the warranty, you will be thrilled to have it. If you don't use it, we refund your money automatically every time. That's right, we are so confident in the quality of our products that our extended warranties are refundable. Many Schrock customers use their refunds to purchase another warranty or pocket the savings and move on. We all know you'll need it to cover that expiring car warranty anyway. Schrock's refundable extended warranties. Just another way the Schrock Innovations Computer Company makes your computer work for you.
Wow, that's some funky Sunday morning music right there, huh? All right, well, good morning, everybody. You're listening to Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, where we're just having some fun this morning. It's good to be back, guys. Thanks for being here with me. 402-558-1110 is the number to join us. 888-250-2091. You just heard a spot before we came back on the air there about Schrock's extended warranties. And I have to tell you, when I got back, one of the first things I did is it's time to make the donuts, get back to work. We got to send robocalls on these warranties because, they're expiring and we owe some of these customers money back. But here's the thing, guys. When your warranty expires, if we owe you money, that money is refunded to your Schrock account. I can't tell you automatically how you want to spend your money. So it's like having a gift card. If you don't buy another warranty with your gift card that we're giving you, then you're just out of warranty. And then your computer breaks and you bring it in and you say, I thought my warranty rolled over. They don't roll over automatically because you may not want to spend your gift card on another warranty. You may want to save it for a Sophos renewal or a new computer or something else you have planned. We can't just predict how you want to spend your money because then we'd be doing refunds of gift cards all the time for people that I didn't want to buy that warranty. And of course, they would find out that they bought a new warranty like 9.5 months after they bought it, So there was something like 77 robocalls that went out on Friday, and we got 3 calls back about warranties. So we're debating doing more with SMS messaging just because, you get so many calls about warranties on cars and garbage like that, So we're thinking about we did a test run with SMS messaging for Sophos renewals. It was very successful. We're going to probably do the same thing for extended warranties here next month. But if you get one of our robocalls, if you get a weird call and you get a voicemail, because we always leave a voicemail, and it's like talking about your warranty, it might be your computer warranty, so you might want to call back. We use a service to send those calls so they don't show up as Schrock Innovations on your caller ID. We're working on some solutions for that, but SMS is probably the easiest way to say your warranty on your Schrock PC is expiring. Do you want to renew it or get it refunded? Call us. And then people will be like, oh, wait, there's money? I'm going to call you. Great. All right, 402-558-1110 is the number to join us, 888-250-2091. Mentioned that Kaspersky antivirus is now banned. It's going to go into effect in September. You will not be able to download updates for your Kaspersky. You will not be able to renew it. And, of course, if you wanted to buy a new license for some reason, you won't be able to either. Of course, you can try to, monkey your way around us with a VPN and stuff like that. But if they're on the entity list, it's only a matter of time until, Canada also adds them. And South Korea also adds them. And now you're seeing your VPN locations disappearing one after another from your VPN list. So basically, you'd have to find a jurisdiction that will still do business with Russia in order to get around this. And then you'd have to turn on that VPN so you could get an update for your Kaspersky. Most people can't remember to do a backup on their own. So this is way outside the bounds, guys. So what we're doing right now, if you have Kaspersky, even if you don't, if you just want an excuse to get into Sophos right now, which is like literally it's the business grade antivirus that we sell at Schrock Business to business customers, you can get the same high quality security on your personal home computer for only $80 right now. It's half off. It's $80 the first year, $79.99 a year to renew it. See what I did there? Odd pricing. It tricked you. You saw the 7 and not the 8, and that made you decide to move. No, and it's per computer, so it's not like you can't buy it and cover 5 computers with it. You have to do it per computer. If you have 3 or more computers you want to cover, let us know, and we can try to help you out a little bit, but we're already selling it for half price, so I'm not sure how much more we can really do. But it's half off right now, guys. And all the service centers know how to invoice it. They can do it right over the Schrock desk. We get connected to your computer. We can uninstall Kaspersky. We can install the Sophos protection and then get you protected up and running so you don't have to worry about this anymore. This is a limited time kind of deal because we're doing this in response to this Kaspersky situation. So do give us a call in the service centers. All the service centers, Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, are open today from noon to 5 on Sunday. Des Moines is closed on Sunday, just like Chick-fil-A. Monday through Saturday, we're all open from 10 in the morning till 8 in the evening. Des Moines, 10 in the morning till 6 in the evening there. All right, 402-558-1110. Let's go to Carolyn. Carolyn, thanks for hanging on the line there. I appreciate your patience. How can I help you on Compute This today?
My pleasure, sir.
Oh, this is Carolyn from Round Rock.
It is. It is.
It's been so long, Carolyn. It's so good to hear from you.
No, I just want to give a great shout out to the great service that I always receive whenever I talk to anybody in your organization. But lately, it's been Amy and Damien in the Omaha office. I sent 2 computers up for preventive maintenance, and they were absolutely fantastic with them.
Awesome.
But Trenton is always really good also. He's helped a lot.
Yeah,
So
he's kind of an also-ran, you know. No, Trenton is amazing. That guy, he's the kind of worker, he just wants to come to work. He wants to fix computers. He wants to make customers happy, and then he wants to go home. Like literally, that's
he
what
does a great job
at
what
him.
His aims are. He's fulfilling his job.
There you go.
But thank you so much for the great customer service training you give them. The other thing is, one of the computers had a lot of malware on it, but does Sophos not take care of the malware?
It does. There's a fine line. So basically, Sophos is an antivirus software, so it's going to stop anything that's doing anything malicious on your computer. Now, define malicious. That's where it gets tricky. Because if I put a piece of software on your computer that delivers coupons to you that you can print, the coupon printer, is that malicious? Not really. Maybe you wanted the coupon printer. We don't know. But because it was stealthily installed as an add-on program to something else that you installed, chances are you didn't go looking for coupon printer. So different companies are going to categorize different threats in different ways. So, for example, Malwarebytes or Super Anti-Spyware might call coupon printer malware, whereas Sophos will say, it's not hurting anything. So, if you want the coupon printer, I guess you can have the coupon printer. And of course, we have the ability at Schrock to add specific programs to a list of detections or even whitelist other programs. We have to do that sometimes for crypto. We have to do that for Call of Duty sometimes, ironically enough. Apparently, the Call of Duty game gets updates all the time, and they must update in some funky way that makes Sophos nervous. But anyway, so it's entirely possible. When we do a maintenance checkup on a computer, we scan your computer with multiple pieces of software, even if you're running Sophos, because a lot of this, what we're going to call bloatware, it gets installed over time on your computer. It takes up space on your solid state, which reduces the performance of your solid state in some cases. It uses memory when it loads up, so it reduces the speed of your computer and its quickness. And so it's things that we know you're not using, Carolyn. Like, we know Carolyn did not mean to install the coupon printer. Now, if you said, "Oh, I wanted Paula Dean's recipe book," well, that could be something that maybe Carolyn might want to install in her computer. I don't know, So we're probably going to leave Paula Dean's recipe book alone. But, Paula Dean's not exactly going out there stealthily installing her cookbook on computers across the country, when you try to install, a Flash player, or something like that. It's not happening. So it's possible for something to be considered malware or potentially malicious software without being a virus or software that's actually damaging your computer. So Sophos, because it's business grade software, it takes things very seriously. It will watch for it's going to watch that software endlessly. And the moment it tries to do anything bad or stupid, it's going to nip it in the bud immediately. But just having the software on your computer doesn't pose a security threat at this point, so Sophos doesn't respond to it. Now, when we have it in for a maintenance checkup, we do a much deeper dive with many different types of software because different companies will identify different things better than others. And then we remove anything that's there.
Okay, super. But I shouldn't do anything in the meantime?
No, you're fine. As long as you're running Sophos, you're absolutely good to go.
Okay, well, I got the 2 computers back that I sent up yesterday, and I got to send another one up. They didn't want to use this. This is from my daughter's household, and they didn't want all the computers to come up at the same time. So I've got one more to send.
That makes sense. It's kind of funny because there's a homeschool conference in Round Rock coming up here soon, and my wife was thinking about possibly attending it. And I'm like, if you go to that, you totally need to hook up with Carolyn and have lunch. And then wouldn't that be so? We'll send somebody down to Round Rock to pick that up for you, Carolyn. How's that sound? It'd be like a Round Rock, Texas on-site.
Well, that's next to opening a shop here, I guess.
Well, then my wife's trip to the homeschool conference, is it not a business expense? I'm just saying.
Of course.
Thanks for the call, Carolyn. I really appreciate you being here today. Thank you for that. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. So I mentioned the Deep Cool company. They also got hit with the ban hammer. So they're a Beijing-based company, and they make some of the best liquid coolers and air coolers and power supplies that you can buy for computers today. Of course, they're made in China because pretty much everything is. So, it is what it is. Turns out that Deep Cool sold some computer processor coolers, CPU fans. I think you'd pay like $65 for us to replace at Schrock Innovations if it dies in your computer. They sold some of those to a Russian PC manufacturer because that makes complete sense. We manufacture CPU coolers and you build computers. So yes, please buy our CPU coolers. I can, just like Schrock Innovations, please buy our CPU cooler. I could totally see this happening, right? Then the Russian PC maker turns around and manufactures computers for the Russian government. Well, now all of a sudden, this is what they call a dual-use technology. Deep Cool is contributing to the war supply chain that's feeding the invasion of Ukraine. And you know what? If Deep Cool is going to sell those parts to Russian companies that are going to put them into Russian computers that are going to... Could you imagine if this was flipped around? So let's say Schrock Innovations buys some deep cool CPU coolers, and then we make computers for the U.S. government. And Russia comes along and says, well, because you did that, you can't sell coolers in Russia anymore. Now, they probably shrug and say, okay, whatever. But the U.S. is a larger market, so it's kind of, we're trying to throw our weight around a little bit. We saw how well that worked with the dollar. Now Saudi Arabia literally ended the dollar peg on oil. You remember all those terrible videos that were out there like, there's a crisis coming to America. The dollar is going to crash, blah, 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 blah. All that has to happen is we lose our peg to the oil industry. Well, it happened. And so in the meantime, now you can't, like I said, if you have a holiday special, there's a possibility you have a deep cool power supply in that thing because they make good power supplies and they're great value. They're not stupid. You can buy power supplies and coolers from other people and they're fine coolers and fine power supplies, but they cost like double what Deep Cool was charging for a product that is no better, no different. It's the same product made in the same factory, possibly by the same company. It's super frustrating. What are we possibly accomplishing by telling American citizens that you can't buy a product because this company chose to sell it to Russia? Do you think they're going to stop selling it to Russia now to get back in the good graces of the United States? Their products were available on Amazon 24 hours after the ban, but now they're all 404 pages. So Amazon has pulled them all down. Deep Cool has literally been canceled in the United States. And, it's complex because on one hand, if you say, well, Deep Cool shouldn't have gotten canceled, are you supporting Russia's war in Ukraine? On the other hand, you could say, well, if NATO wouldn't have expanded all the way up to the flippin' Russian border, then maybe they wouldn't have invaded Ukraine. It's like there's a lot of different ways that you can slice this and dice this and look at it. But the way that I'm choosing to look at it right now is American consumers once again are being deprived of a high quality product produced at a very reasonable price, where your other alternatives are also made in China, but cost double. And we wonder why we have an inflation problem. Is this going to do anything to help Ukraine? No. This isn't going to make us a lick of difference. This is another virtue signaling action that isn't going to make a difference from anyone, except it's going to make you pay a little bit more when you buy a gaming PC or an AI-equipped PC, because you're going to need a bigger power supply, and now you can't get it from Deep Cool. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Kim, welcome to the program. Thanks for staying on the line there. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Yes, this is Ken.
Ken, sorry about that.
The early days of computing in America in the 80s, I had a Byte magazine that had a picture on the cover of a guy that made a computer on project boards. He had them connected together with cables, with 4-foot cables with banana plugs on them. His cat ran the table, and the whole thing fell down and was hanging off the table, but it was working. So he left it there, and it was the cover of the Byte magazine one year.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, wow, you hear everybody talking about STEM and stuff like that. And, we just got our new flow oven in the Lincoln Service Center, and I got the first report back from Grant yesterday, who is one of the few people in the U.S. I mean, there are people that can do this work, but it's not a common skill. But he just reflowed a microchip on the board because there's all kinds of settings you have to figure out for what type of solder it is and everything. It's really complex. Right. And he reflowed this chip. He basically replaced a microchip on a board for somebody. I think it was an automotive board that was needed for a car that you couldn't buy anymore. And so he reflowed the chip, basically put it back on the board, replaced the chip, got it working again. And delivered it back to the customer. And so this is the kind of stuff we are trying at Schrock to say this would be an amazing skill set to have in the local community. Like, can we find somebody who enjoys doing this, who is good at doing this, and then surround them with the support and infrastructure they need so that we can offer this as a service to customers? Because what are you going to do if your Deep Cool power supply blows out? I mean, you can't buy another one. So you're going to have to fix it. And that's what Grant does. That's good stuff there. But yeah, that sounds computer hanging off the table by a cable. Hey, did you have a question about Windows 11 as well?
Yes, I'm very frustrated with Microsoft because I don't use the cloud and I have it normally shut off. But in Windows 11, I found out even when you don't log on to the cloud, it's still built into your document folder and your desktop.
Yep.
And I found an article that said how to disable that. And I have two Windows 11 computers. One is your holiday special.
Uh-huh.
And I did that on it, and it worked out perfectly. I still had... it came out perfectly. There was one thing that the article didn't talk about is it still left a folder in there that if you clicked on it, it still went in to log on to the one cloud and let you reinstall it. So I took those out, and everything worked fine. The second computer was an older laptop I had that I loaded Windows 11 on. Went through the same procedure, and I don't know what was different, but when it was done, I did notice that one of the folders still had the cloud image instead of a folder image. And when I deleted that, I lost the desktop from the file viewer.
Yeah.
It still existed under the public folder, but not under the top Windows folder. So I wondered if there's any way to get that back.
Gotcha. So you're talking about like the quick access menu?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you should be able to right-click on anything anywhere else and add it to the quick access menu. With a right-click, you might have to go to more options at the bottom of the thing to see all the old-school options. But you can basically add it to you can drag it back. You can drag it up there. It'll put a shortcut there. So it's just basically a shortcut that takes you there more quickly. Thank you for the call, Ken. Regarding the cloud and Windows 11, you're absolutely right that, just like everybody's cool with 2% inflation, which I don't understand. Everyone's like, we need to get back to 2% inflation because 2% inflation compounded is flipping robbery. I mean, they're literally stealing your purchasing power from you. They're stealing your life from you, your time that you've exchanged for money that you save is being taken from you through inflation. Even at 2% compounding annually, it's ridiculous. But they figure at 2%, you're not going to notice it. The crawl will be so gradual that you'll just accept it. And that's a lot like what Microsoft's doing with cloud right now. Windows 10 didn't require the cloud. Windows 11 had cloud options when it first came out. But every iteration of Windows 11 that comes out after that is getting more and more and more integrated in the cloud to the point where most people are just accepting it. Most people don't look up the article that you looked up. And worse yet, when you get your new version of Windows 11, because they come out with a new one once a year now, when that gets automatically downloaded and automatically installed to your computer, it's going to undo everything that you did and probably make it so that article doesn't work anymore. So you can't do it again because eventually, if you don't have a PIN number and you're not logged into the cloud, you don't have Windows Hello, you just can't do anything. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. We got to take our last break here. When we come back, you know what? Speaking of helping out Ukraine, what if we could send them 1,000 F-16 fighter jets that didn't need pilots? We're a lot closer to being able to do that than you might think. And the Secretary of the Air Force showed how it's done. We're going to tell you about it coming up next on Compute This.
Computer problems usually don't just suddenly happen. Most failures usually start out as small issues with few or no symptoms. Over time, they grow into error messages, blue screens, and other problems that can be costly to fix. Schrock Innovations' biannual preventative maintenance checkup catches those small problems now before they can metastasize and become tomorrow's costly repairs. During the maintenance checkup, our experienced technicians perform up to 8 hours of tests, checks, automated repairs, and optimizations that keep your computer at peak efficiency while identifying potential issues while you still have options about how to handle them. When your computer gets its first checkup, it can see up to a 25% performance improvement and leaves our service center cleaned, sanitized, and running better than the day you bought it. Just about every complex device requires maintenance. Your computer is no different, especially considering the valuable information that passes through it every day. If you have not had your computer maintenance in the past 6 months, you are overdue. Stop in or call any of our service centers to arrange a free pickup to ensure your computer continues to work for you.
Schrock Innovations Data Recovery Lab saves the data the other guys can't. The next time your hard drive, camera card, or flash drive fails, let Schrock get your data back.
Have you noticed that almost every piece of technology seems to do its best to be disposable? Every day, people toss their phones, tablets, and other electronic devices because they can't be repaired. Manufacturers have engineered their products to fail on a schedule so they can extract more money out of your family budget automatically every year or so. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if you could get the performance of today's fastest computers with the expansion and upgrade options you used to enjoy? You just described Schrock's modular desktop computers. Having the right tool for the job is important, and Schrock's modular desktop PCs pack the performance and flexibility to handle your computing needs, from just checking the email to running a complex business. Modular desktops are engineered to be easily repaired with widely available industry standard parts. Every component is selected intentionally to give you years of upgrade and repair options. It is not uncommon for a Schrock customer to be using the same computer for a decade after they bought it. Modular PCs are the most popular custom computers in the Midwest for a reason. When you are ready for your next computer, stop in to check out the modular lifestyle or shop online at SchrockInnovations.com.
Alrighty, guys, we got about 4 minutes to go in the program here. I want to remind you all that we will be doing an Aftershock today. That's a show that we do at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Happens after the program. Give me 5 or 6 minutes to reset. But coming up on the Aftershock this week, we've got a presidential debate coming up on Thursday. And honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. I would want to hear your opinion. What do you think is going to happen? You know, which Donald Trump is going to show up? You know, which Joe Biden is going to show up? Is it going to be Angry Joe? Is it going to be Sleepy Joe? One of the other dwarfs? I don't know. Sneezy Joe? You know, it could. Who's going to show up? It's going to be a really interesting conversation, I think. Also, I have some questions. A lot of times I turn to the residents of Schrockville to ask them questions about potential products we're looking at doing, and we're looking at building our own backup service for Schrock Business. And the question has been asked by my consumer side, can consumers also use this? Can we build this so that Schrock customers can use it? And I don't know. I mean, I know we can build software that you can use. That's not a question, but I don't know if you're willing to pay for what it's going to cost. That's because you can get Carbonite for like $30 a year. And so during the Aftershock, I want to give you like the high-low about this is what we're thinking about doing, and this is what we think it's going to cost. And is this something you would subscribe to? And, you know, honestly, if the people in Schrockville say, Thor, that's ridiculous, I'm not going to subscribe to that, then I know I'm like not even in the ballpark, because those are the super fans, right? And if I'm not even in the ballpark, then we need to figure something out. Also, as I might have mentioned, we went to Tennessee on vacation. It was a very different looking Tennessee than we saw last time. So we're going to talk about that. AI. Last week we did the big AI stories, all the good stuff that AI can do for you. One of the stories that came across my desk when I got back from vacation was that the Secretary of the Air Force jumped in the front seat of an F-16 fighter, threw his arms up on the sides of the canopy like he was in Ford Blue Cruise mode, and let this plane dogfight for an hour against a human pilot and hold its own. They didn't say it won, but they said it held its own against a human pilot. This is an F-16 fighter, which makes me wonder if they're equipping this in an F-16. That's a really old plane. This is like low budget stuff, guys. They're like messing around with old planes here, trying to see what they can do, and it's working. Now imagine they want to have 1,000 of these planes in the Air Force's arsenal by the end of next year. Imagine if you sent a few hundred AI-based planes to Ukraine that did not require pilots, where their main shortage of what they have access to is manpower. I mean, this completely redefines the warfare. I mean, if something like this happens, it also is the first step towards Skynet. So, take it with a grain of salt. The F-16s are really cool until they're pointing at you. Like Joe Biden said, you need an F-16 to take on the U.S. government. That's right. Can't do that with your piddly little arms. All right, we got to draw a winner for the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. We'll give you a call. Amy, I'll give you a call on Monday and let you know what you won here. We'll not let you know that you'll know that you won, but to get you your money. Ken, congratulations. You've got yourself a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. And Patricia, Brandon, stay on the line. I apologize, couldn't get to your calls on the air, but I will take them here as soon as we're off the air. And we'll see you all again next weekend for another edition of Compute This.